Hey, we know that sound.
Oh,
It's
you
time
like
right
that
now
sound?
for
It makes you wanna
Travel
go.
Smart. Hey, more countries are opening up in the next few weeks, so the big question, what do you need to know before you book?
We're going to our expert. Joining us today is Travelzoo senior editor Gabe Saglie. Hey, look at the little scruff going on. I like it. It's a good look.
You know, this was supposed to come off months ago, Lynette, but my wife refuses to let me shave it off, so it's on for now. Let's see how long it stays.
Whatever Renee says goes.
That's the rule,
Smart
yes.
woman. Okay, so let's talk about international travel. Are we ready to do this? Are people more cautious? How are people feeling about it?
Listen, I think the leading edge of the traveling community is ready to roll. We did a survey just a couple of weeks ago, 33% of Americans ready to consider international travel in the next 6 months. Now, realistically, that's probably what's happening now. South of the border, travel to Mexico, the Caribbean, I think doing quite well as we head toward the summer, fall, even winter seasons. 66% willing to consider international travel over the next 12 months. And that's when I think Europe begins to come into focus. Now, we know that the European Union is looking toward the end of June to start to really sort of formalize some of the restrictions, some of the new requirements that will allow Americans to finally get back into the European continent. So that's great news. The bad news is that the details are still up in the air, guys, and we're still waiting for some of those details to roll in over the next several weeks.
So what do travelers need to know about visiting Europe in particular this summer? Green pass, green list, do we need a vaccine passport? What do we need to know?
Great question. So a couple of good news items. A couple of destinations already welcoming Americans, and the intrepid American traveler in small numbers is making its way to places like Iceland, places like Croatia, places like Greece, where they've actually loosened up those restrictions. Greece and Croatia are part of the EU, but they've sort of preemptively on their own decided to loosen some of those restrictions. Americans are slowly but surely starting to travel there. The green list, that's out of the UK. So a couple of weeks ago, they announced their green list, countries where UK residents can travel without having to quarantine when they come back. The U.S. is not on that list. We expect the U.S. to be on that list early next month. So that'll start to facilitate travel out of the U.K. into the U.S. and presumably the U.S. into the U.K. The green pass you mentioned, Mark, that's the that green digital certificate that the EU is working on. Probably a sort of a digital platform with QR codes that will prove that you are in fact vaccinated. Or that you are at least negative, testing negative for COVID, or that you've had COVID and that you have the antibodies that protect you against that virus. And that's what we're waiting to see, what those requirements will look like, how easy that'll be to sort of load up onto your say your ticket when you buy your airfare ticket. But that's what's in the works, and that's I think will be the official sort of green light that'll get us back into Europe. Realistically, though, guys, I think that we're seeing some fantastic deals now to Europe. So we're starting to see the booking happen, but really the travel itself happening. Probably starting in the fall, winter of this year. And I think next year, summer is going to see an explosion of Americans into Europe. So if you can start locking in your airfare now, guys, probably a really good idea because that's going to go up.
Yeah. So what about when you come home? What are going to be the requirements then?
So right now, the U.S. requires you to prove within 72 hours of your flight back home, whether it's Mexico, whether it's Greece, anywhere internationally. If French Polynesia is open now, so folks are coming back home from places like Tahiti and Moorea. You need that negative COVID test 72 hours before you fly back home. Good news, Mexican resorts, all of the resorts in Cabo San Lucas, for example, offering free on-site quick tests that allow you to sort of prove that you're negative before you come back home. A couple of days ago, United Airlines introduced a kit that you put in your carry-on bag that you carry with you when you travel. You take that test within 72 hours, and that's an acceptable test for the U.S. State Department to let you back in. So it's becoming a little bit easier now to prove that you're negative and therefore can come back home with ease when you travel abroad.
So you're choosing 3 destinations to maximize value on our vacations. First up is Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal's hot. And listen, I mean, these are offers that allow you to travel all the way into next year, but are so good you've got to nab them now. This is a place called the Heritage Avenida Liberdade. Avenida Liberdade is basically like the Sunset Strip of Lisbon. This is a former 5-star mansion. This is a hotel that gets 5 out of 5 stars on TripAdvisor. Check out this rate, $109 a night with buffet breakfast, and you get free entry into 20 Lisbon hotels. I was in Lisbon about 2 years ago. I flew TAP Air Portugal. That's the airline that'll get you nonstop over to Portugal. Fantastic flight, fantastic city. History, food, fantastic at that rate. Tough to pass. That's for travel starting in September when we anticipate those looser restrictions into July of next year.
And then you have Greece.
Then there's Italy.
Tell me about Greece.
Oh, Greece. Yeah, so Greece. So yesterday I heard you talking about Greece, Lynette. You're like, I got to go to Greece. I'm like, let me dig something up for Lynette here, see what I can find. This is through a company called Jetline. And this is a great vacation. It's priced at $9.99. It's airfare out of Los Angeles, Lynette. We're going to take you over to Athens. You're staying at a 4-star hotel in Athens for 3 nights. Then we fly you to the island of Mykonos. And you spend the 3 nights in a 4-star hotel in Mykonos. Your breakfast is included. A couple of these sort of day tours included as well. $9.99 for travel right now because, as you know, Greece is open now through the middle of next year. Some of these dates as we head towards summer of next year will be a little tougher to nab. But listen, the weather in Greece during the fall season, during the sort of the mid to late spring season of next year, Lynette, really, really nice. Listen, this destination is waiting for you. I've given them the heads up that Lynette and David are on their way. So get going.
You're
Inspired me
Greece
yesterday.
vacation.
So tempting. Gabe Saglie, thank you so much.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah, you bet.
You and
I'll let
Nidhi,
you know
let's
how
go.
things
Let's
roll
go.
over the next
go.
We're going to go
days.
right now. Yeah.
All right, for more from Gabe and access to all of these travel deals and so much more, just visit travelzoo.com/TV. We'll be right back.